1 second。OK。
一张这样说明，一张。
麦克往里面一点。
麦克。对。
开始，您拿手机的镜头。
大的竞争很多，我刚刚明天方面，他还采访
叫女孩子拿它看一下。
要
没有。
拿那个吧，可以吗？
可以吗？应该可以。
我认为可以。各位听得到吗？一下从您的头开始，一路过来，1分钟。自我介绍你是谁，然後你在會裏面是什麼？
自我介紹。
係你好，各位，我係 Ian Lee， 係參加咗華人保守黨協會嘅董事會。
我建議站起來，站起來說。
OK， 好，在場各位記者朋友，你哋好，我叫 Ian。就參加咗華人保守黨協會差不多2年啦，個董事會，咁好有幸今日見到大家。咁我喺呢一度嚟講呢，我係加拿大嘅公民，嚟咗有幾十年啦，就覺得喺保守黨嘅概念嚟講呢，非常適合華人個圈子嘅理念，所以我參加呢個黨嚟講呢，希望為社區出一分力。多謝各位。
我係朱地珠，我參加華人保守黨理事咧有10幾年啦。今年咧個選舉咧係好特別嘅，所以咧我希望嗰啲 media 咧你哋咧將個選舉嘅信息發出去，即係華人咧即係希望咧就投票，注重自己嘅珍貴嘅1票，投出自己想要嘅黨。多謝。
各位好我中文名叫做徐振偉。我亦都喺社區裏邊咧，一般人都叫我 Candy Choi 我係由1995年參加保守黨，一直到而家已經有30年。我而家係現任嘅加拿大中部嘅共同主席咁我參加保守概念嘅，正如啲人所講都同埋好多其他一樣，就係我就喜歡保守黨嗰個概念，就做喺財政嗰方面量入為出。咁同埋嘅話咧，我係直接係支持嘅話咧係。反對墮胎嘅，亦都係反對壓迫性嘅支持同性戀嘅咁另外咧，我亦都希望咧，我哋保守黨能夠咧繼續咧喺呢條路走，同埋因為極力反對咧係將大麻合法嘅。咁如果希望總理我哋現任嘅黨魁可以咧係提出一個新嘅政綱，就會反對呢個大麻合法，當係成功連任嘅時候，成功係成為加拿大嘅新總理。多謝。
大家早上好，我叫朱伟邦，是华人保守党协会的副主席。今天的记者会的话非常明了，我们呼吁大家所有的华人就来投票，要选好你的党，选好你的这个投票的那1票投给谁。所以呢，我们一定要呼吁大家出来投票，理性投票。谢谢大家。
My name is Joe Lee. I'm the Markham Regional Councillor for the last 15 years. I'm a member of the Conservative Party, the former Progressive Conservative and later Conservative Party since 1984. Almost 40-year membership, and currently I'm the national chairman. And I'm here today, so we have some important issue to address. I'm going to speak up a little bit later. Thank you.
我参加完保守党已经超过20年的时间，我最希望大家能够在这一次方面就出来，大家华人一起出来投票，不管投哪一个党都可，把我们华人的在加拿大里面有一个重要的位置。谢谢。
大家好，我是安第武，华人保守党全国财政部长，然后我希望各位在场媒体朋友能够呼吁大家更多的华人能够参政议政，然后站出来投票，然后希望了解保守党，支持保守党，参加保守党。
那么我现在也是保守党协会里面理事，然后呢，现在我们华人应该更多的人参政，去多投票，好吧？支持我们华人在这个地位好，谢谢大家。
保守党当年我是1983年成立的这个保守党，我是成立的发起人之一。那么呢，1983年1月27号，然后我一直没有离开过，一晃眼40多年过去了。 那么我们这个华人协会华人保守党第一件做的大事儿是1989年6次。那么我们当时就跟这个当时的 Prime Minister Brad Mulroney， 我们是说，当时我们要为这些人做点事儿。那么当时我们就建议说，凡是当年有参加游行的，有照片参加游行，没有犯罪记录，而且有skilled visa。那么就给他们加拿大的移民，当时5000人拿到。那么当时那些读书的人都是属于社会的精英。那么今天事实这么多年过去了以后，这些人现在大部分都在联邦政府做事。那么到今天他们差不多都属于 director 的 level。所以换句话说，我们保守党在政府里面，我们的人蛮多的。第二件做的大事就是 head tax。2005大选的时候，我们跟当时的我们的 leader 就是 Harper， 我们就说人头税这件事一定要解决。那么他说你们的建议是什么？我们写了这么厚的一个proposal，那么要道歉。那么在选举的时候，他说假如我上台的话，我就一定会做这件事儿。结果2006年1月23号他选赢了，他做了 Prime Minister。2006年的6月22号，他就正式道歉。那么列入加拿大的历史，所以我说这是我们华人保守党做的2件大事。那么其他还有一些零零星星的，包括在安省白求恩纪念馆，那么是我们的建议，结果把那个白求恩的树的地方变成一个旅游胜地，也是我们保守党做的，这是几件大事。那么今天谢谢各位来到这里，那么现在我们就请演讲，谢谢。
Good morning. Thank you for all the media friends that are attending today. As a national chair, because this is Canada, I know most of my boss already spoke in Mandarin or Cantonese, but I will take the opportunity. It's not that I don't speak Cantonese or Mandarin, I do. 我也会讲广东话，但是今天那个新闻记得我一定要英文，因为英文是加拿大的national language. Okay, so the purpose of this meeting is, like every election, the CCCA will have a press conference, and normally we will, invite the candidate and lend our support, especially to the Conservative candidate, introduce themselves to the audience and asking general public to support our candidate. And today, you see that our board decision has made very clear we didn't invite our candidate. And you may ask me the reason why, because as I mentioned in the press release, for the last 2 years, we have tried to reach out to our party leader, Pierre Poilievre, and the National Party for dialogue, because things are changing so rapidly, and there are so many things that's happening in Canada and across the international border, and especially a recent event that impacted us greatly with the Donald Trump tariff issue. So everyone is up in the air and wondering how Canada is going to handle. So our party not only didn't take the time to talk to us, and we are totally being silent. And as a matter of fact, they think that we are non-existent. As I mentioned, and I've been a loyal member since 1984. And I've been 2008, I believe that the 25th anniversary, we invited our then Prime Minister Stephen Harper for our 25th anniversary, and Erica just mentioned we were able to convince him to finally settle the issues of head tax, and which the Liberal government are unable to do under Prime Minister John Cratchit for 13 years, right? We are able to solve that problem, and that was a good time. You know, when Harper started, he also had some issue with China, but later on, as we talked to them, you know, like, I mean, whether we like them or not, just like, you know, I'm from India, right? I wish to have a friendly relationship between Canada and India too, but lately we also have problem with India, right? So, and our issue is, today we are facing the tariff with America. So, 75 or 80% our goods is sold to America. Now, they don't want us to think about where the hell our good is going to be sold. And the next largest market is India, China, and Asian, as I mentioned in my press release, that account for almost like 50% of the world population. So why Canada are not taking advantage? So if America doesn't want to do business with us, here is the 50% of the world that we can try to cultivate our relationship. You know, I think for too long, I think we have ourselves to blame. You know, as investment, you cannot put your money into one basket. That's we've been doing, I don't know how many years, for 50, 100 years, all our money is invested in the US. And when we have a problem with that US and that basket is going to burn, we're in trouble. You know, I don't want to talk about myself. I'm scared to look at my retirement fund. For the last 2-3 weeks, I get scared every day. The number keep on changing. Why? Maybe up a little bit, but down more. So think about for those people who are planning to retire in the next 2 years. All of a sudden, the market crashing down. It's almost remind me of the 2000 recession, right? And I think people are panicking, and we should have handled the panic issue like youth. They want to buy a house. It's so expensive, and government are not doing anything. You know, last week at our region government, we debated for 6 hours. How are we going to help the development industry? I remember CIBC World Market, you know, economist Benjamin Tal came and talked to us. You have only 2-3 years time to help the industry to create enough supply. If you don't help them right at this critical moment, guess what's going to happen? 3 years later, because no house was built, and people is going to start lining up to buy a house, and the price is going to be skyrocketing like you won't believe it. Okay, so this is a problem, and we've been debating for 6 hours, but at the end, the regional council have voted 12-8 to support the industry. So to defer the development charge, which is a big money. So I am saying today, as CCCA, we want to help. And then look at, you know, the recent report in Ontario alone, the Chinese candidate from the Liberal Party of only 5 of them, right, and the Conservative also 5 of them, compare with Indian, the Liberal Party of 18 candidates, and the Conservative have 19 candidates. Remember, the Chinese population is greater than the Indian population. So I am just stunned and surprised. How come these two parties, Liberal and Conservative, ignore us? It doesn't look like they appreciate. Yeah, every time, every day I open, they keep on asking me to donate more money. But yet, they don't want to talk to us. When we tell them we have an issue, we need to sit down. Right? They refuse to meet up with us. So, as you know, 2 weeks ago, Markham, everyone was excited. There's a lot of opening. So you have Markham Thornhill, Minister Mary Ng resigned. So there's a vacancy. Our Markham Council are all excited. Somebody from the council may be interested to run for the seat. But instead, we are all empty-handed, and I believe a lot of Markham Council members have filed their application to the party, either conservative or liberal. But none of us got lucky, but except one. Ward 7 Councillor Nathan got promoted to Pickering. He actually wanted to run in Markham Thornhill. That was predominant in the Tamil area. But to compensate here, for the Liberal have shuffled in, parachute somebody that know nothing about Markham Dick Houghton to run because he just happened to be a friend of Mark Carney. So, and to compensate, to keep her silent, they promoted her to run in Pickering. So next come Markham Unionville for longest period of time. You know, this is a winnable riding for the Conservative Party, and a lot of people have expressed the interest to run. When you have two trouble candidates, one that ran in the last election, Bob Sawyer didn't win, and the other one, I don't want to mention, you know, let everybody know, that had issue with law and order. But, so, we have known to the party that someone is interested to run, capable from the Markham Council, that work in Markham, that live in Markham. But unfortunately again, guess what happened? Both Liberal and Conservative parachute two candidates, Peter Yun and Michael Ma. They don't live in Markham. They know nothing about Markham. This is the two candidates. It's going to be shoved to our throat to tell us they are better than us. So media friend, just want to ask you the question. Why are these two parties doing to us? Our mayor was not very happy. I think he's a prominent Liberal Party member and he was very concerned. I know when he was talking at our council meeting in last week, he was saying, you know, these people, both provincial or federal level, they think they know better than planning. They want to take away all our planning power. Keep on telling us, hey, you need to build more houses, you need to do this, you need to do that. But at the end, guess what? They send somebody to Markham that know nothing about Markham, right? You know, just like last election, you know, you have candidates that talk about Markham is going to allow injection site. When we have already voted in the Markham Council, we will not allow injection site. So think about this. Candidate that don't show up at Markham Council meeting, know nothing about Markham, they are representing the party. So this is something wrong here. So I would strongly advise, you know, media friend to tell our frustration. You know, like this is something not right. You know, what the two parties are telling Markham citizens is that out of the 380,000 Markham citizens, excuse me, I'm sorry to tell you, none of you are competent to represent our party. So that's why we are sending people from outside to run for you, somebody to represent you. You know, as I mentioned, I've been a member for 40 years. Normally, according to our party constitution, we get notice to tell us when it's a nomination. If it was done, we don't receive notice because they already decided who's going to run, right? So what I am paying for $15 for my membership for? I just renewed my membership for 5 years, cost me $75. And my whole family, 5 of them, that is almost a weekly food allowance. And my daughter was saying, Dad, that money should be saved on spending grocery. You just throw it, the money unnecessary to the party where they are ignoring you. Don't even give you a chance to select your own candidate. So this is something I am totally disturbed when Canadian government try to lecture third world country about democratic reform. They tell us how great Canada is, how democratic we are, but we are not. We are practicing hypocrisy in our backyard, yet we have the courage to lecture other people, hey, look at us, we are doing a great job. No, they are not doing a great job. They are just doing the opposite. I'll tell you honestly, they only practice democracy when it is convenient to them. And they will only nominate candidate or appoint candidate that sound like a trained seal. They will listen to them when to sit down. They will never have the courage to appoint candidate, that have vision, to tell them it's about time to improve relationship with other country. I don't want to name country, and you know who I'm talking about, just talk about 50% of the world population. So anytime you mention about these two countries, guess what? They always mistaken you, oh, you may be from that country or you may be for that country. But that's wrong conception. So as I say that, I'm not even from China. So how can they say that anytime I say, at the National Convention in Quebec City, I mentioned, how about Canada to have a neutral foreign policy, maybe to try to broker a peaceful, invite Taiwan and China to Canada for peace dialogue. Maybe because of that, the first conservative prime minister will be nominated for Nobel Peace Prize. But instead of that, they shut me down and say, time's up. And the next thing that happened is that, oh, you look like you're promoting China. So maybe you're not to run for our party. So this is something very horrible that's happening. I think people in Ottawa, they just don't know what's happening around the world. They should wake up. And I say today, before I conclude my speech, just because we are conservative doesn't mean we have to vote for a Conservative Party candidate. Vote for the candidate that you think that will listen to you, that will help you, right? It could be, like he is a liberal candidate, vote for him. If you think that, he's a good man, will listen to you, at least have a guts to tell the party to do what you tell them to do. Because when you elect them, this is true that they have to ask you opinion to represent you in Ottawa, and that's supposed to be a member of parliamentarian work. But today they are not. So all these parliamentarians we are elected, they have problem. As I mentioned last year, for example, when I introduced the Chinese Heritage Month, it got approved in Markham Council, it approved in Regional Council, and finally I'm able to convince some Caucasian MP by the name of Aris Babekian, along with Vincent Kerr, to get Prince Park approved to have the Chinese Heritage Month declared in February. When I approached those Chinese MPP, Chinese Member of Parliament, they tell me, oh, right now it's too much tension with China. And also maybe we're too busy with our agenda. We don't want to talk about this. If one lonely MP, Gary Annan from Scarborough, can make it celebration Thai Ponga in January across Canada, what about our 6 members of Parliament? Can they speak up and say, Chinese Canadians build the railroad, construct this. We are the 3rd largest community after English and French. It's about time to recognize our contribution to Canada. So what's wrong to celebrate our culture? What's wrong to declare February as Chinese Heritage Month? But they don't have the courage to do that. Right? So do you want to continue to elect this kind of MP that doesn't have a guts to tell the party to introduce motion in Parliament and say, hey, let's recognize the Chinese contribution. Let's finally declare February as Chinese Heritage Month. So, again, finally, I encourage all Chinese Canadians to go out to vote. We have 2 million. Think about the Jewish can have a profound influence in America because they have money. Doesn't matter who is Republican, who is Democrat. They have to listen to them. They have to keep on helping Israel. But whereas in Canada, our community are well off too. We are very resourceful. We also donated money to our party. But do we have any say? I don't think. the party will ever listen to us. That's why I advocate, don't waste our money to continue to give these two parties, when they just take your money, don't want to listen to you. Don't ever vote for them again, right? So these two parties, something is wrong. So I am telling you once and for all, the 2 million Chinese come out to vote for the right candidate. Don't look at the party, look at that person, ask them a question. So I told them, if this candidate knock on your door, you can ask them one simple question. Would you have the courage when you elect as a member of parliament to introduce the motion in Ottawa to finally declare February as Chinese Heritage Month? If they're dodging your question, if they don't want to answer you just have to simply tell them, get lost, stay away, right? I don't want to elect people that doesn't want to work for me. All right, with all the say, vote for the candidate that will listen to you. Thank you very much.
晚上好，各位的传媒朋友，各位的亲朋好友，我是加拿大华人保守党协会的副主席。感谢今天的到来，我很荣幸代表协会在这里给大家发些声音。在这场隆重的联邦大选到来之际，我不仅以 CCCA 的代表的身份来发言，也更是作为一个深切关注我们国家和社区未来的加拿大人来向大家发言。这场选举不仅是不同政党之间做出选择，它更关键是我们希望生活一个怎么样的加拿大，怎么样安全的加拿大。我们希望我们的领导怎么样领导我们的国家走向未来。我们 CCA 坚信，现在是时候我们加拿大的人站起来，我们的华人也要站起来，去投票，去正确的投给我们。就像周丽刚才我们说的，投向你最喜欢的那个能够代表你的声音的候选人，而不是政党。当然，作为我们华人保守党来说，我们更喜欢的是，我们需要有勇敢、有担当的领导人，他们在这场为我们国家的经济便重新建立我们的信心的这个领导人。我们同样要尊重和选取我们能够代表我们利益的、关切我们华人社区的利益的候选人。这个是候选人要代表我们真正的声音，把我们的关切我们的生活、我们的生意、我们的民意带到国会去发表我们的声音。我们保守党协会一贯坚持支持我们华人议政参政，但是我们一定要选出一个能够真正愿意聆听我们民意的政党。所以在这是我呼吁大家勇敢的、正义的出来选举和投票你的候选人，而且这个候选人是代表我们大多数人的意见的候选人，也是为我们这个国家的未来走出一个非常好的方向，争取一个好的未来。这是我今天我们这个加拿大会的真正的原因，就是 Vote for Canada， 是时候我们站起来了，把我们带到新的一个未来。谢谢大家。
我同租啲嘢同埋莊之意見一樣咁咪希望咧有一個咧係真正係為加拿大所有嘅公民同埋新嘅移民嚟到咧係等你有一個安樂同埋喺生活上咧係一個穩定，所以咧我需要加拿大咧應該去搞好我哋嘅經濟另外嘅話亦都需要加拿大一個和平嘅國家。希望同世界上其他所有各國咧都有溝通咁呢個係我哋嘅願望。咁最緊要一樣嘢嘅話咧，就係所有政策裏邊嘅話咧，都希望能夠咧有機會俾我哋華人提出聲音嚟到接受我哋，俾個機會我哋同我哋嘅領導人、我哋嘅 leader 有機會可以直接接觸，有機會可以溝通。喺溝通裏邊嘅話咧， 大家互相可以理解對方，咁亦都可以提出我哋華人嘅意見俾佢哋參考，而等佢哋咧，等我哋嘅新嘅領導咧，可以咧係知道點樣嚟到係定定個政綱，同埋帶我點樣走向我哋加拿大美好嘅將來。多謝。
我是朱迪朱，大家知道了哈。今年的选举呢是很特别的一年，有很多候选人呢，你们也知道哈。我在这里呼吁所有的 media 将我们的信息发出去，就是我们的华人候选人，就是这个 leader 选的是对不对，立场是什么？我们华人保守党希望华人很多人出来选参政议政。这个道路是对的，但是我们希望这个党领导就要考虑这一点，就呼吁大家还有自己神圣的一票去选对的党，希望加拿大能更强更大。謝謝。
頭先我都介紹過自己啦，今次再介紹一次，我係Ian。以我嚟咗加拿大40幾年嘅經驗。而家加拿大真係到咗一個生死存亡嘅時候啦，可以講話內憂外患，內有毒品問題、治安問題、經濟問題，外有南下嘅美國總統虎視眈眈，所以今次真係要大家希望出嚟投票，選一個英明嘅領導人，選一個希望帶出過去我哋加拿大，我用呢個10年浩劫，唔知有冇用錯字，過去嗰個時間嚟講呢，希望慢慢用幾年時間嚟到去改變翻嘅現狀，恢復翻我哋以前個加拿大。希望大家出嚟投票。
你要問誰 ？OK。你要問誰？
我問全部周立朗。
周立 ，OK， go ahead。
2019年聯邦大選，9位全國9位華裔候選人全部落敗，今年情況會怎麼樣？
我当然不是神，能够知道是谁会选。
crystal ball， get your crystal ball。
但是我认为我们的政党党魁，尤其是我们党魁，根本没有跟我们商量。当他推荐的候选人的时候 ，when they nominate a candidate, our party leader have never ever consulted with us. So you ask me this interesting question whether our candidate have a chance to win. I doubt it. Okay? So I believe if this time, if all the candidates just like 2019 get defeated, I'm telling you right now, on April 29, I'm the first one to come out and say, Pierre Poilievre, you need to resign again. So this is a statement I'm declaring right now, okay? Because we are leading by 25 points about 3 months ago. Today, I'm just like Doug Ford, Doug campaign manager, right? Have some issue with the federal Conservative Party. There's only a few people, 2 or 3 people in the party, don't know what they're doing, don't know how the selection. Only candidate will be selected if you can listen to them.